I am an American. I am a Catholic priest, and I'm living now in Ankara, Turkey, where when I'm invited, I give lectures at various theology faculties in Turkey.
What's your impression about this conference today?
This is a good conference in that it's trying to look at the Gülen movement from various aspects, and intellectual appreciation of the movement, the spiritual approach, the organizational, the sociological, the political approach. It's very good. So we're all looking at the same phenomenon, the Gülen movement, but from our particular areas of expertise and points of view.
Have you ever participated in any Hizmet events before?
Yes, I have. I've been at several. Last year in Los Angeles at Southern California University, there was a seminar on the thought of Mr. Gülen and the activities of the Hizmet community. I was there. I was also in Washington at Georgetown University, where a similar conference was held. So yes, I have been at several such activities.
What are the main characteristics of this movement, the charity movement or Gülen movement, or whatever it's called?
I think one of the really beautiful insights of Fethullah Gülen was this idea of serving God by serving humanity, by serving others. And so he really brings ideas that have been part of the Islamic tradition for centuries, since the time of Muhammad, like ikhlas, which is the purity of intention, doing everything for God, no matter how simple or how menial or how unnoticed it is. If it's done with a pure intention of serving God, trying to please God, it has its value. And so then he takes another idea, this idea of ibadat, worship. But then he expands the idea so that if you're teaching physics in Kyrgyzstan, that's worship of God. Doing whatever we do to serve God, not just our ritual activities, but any of the activities of our life. So he's taken these traditional Islamic ideas and he's given them modern applications.
In this context, what is the main goal of the Mr. Fethullah Gülen, according to you?
His main goal, I think, is to help Muslim people, especially young Muslim people, to find a way to lead their lives in such a way that Islam will carry out this mission of doing God's will on earth, that is, serving others.
Only Muslim people, or?
Oh no, serving all. For example, I was in the Philippines last year, and they were going all around buying up cows, and on the feast of the sacrifice, they were distributing these cows, and I asked, they were distributing the meat, and I said, is this going just to Muslims? They said, oh no, most of it is going to poor people who are not Muslims. They're, in fact, Christians in the Philippines. So no, the idea is serving people for the love of God.
Do you think that Hizmet is able to create solutions for common problems all over the world? In Holland, the most significant problem or hot item is integration, diversity of diversity of different cultures. We also got someone named Wilders in Holland, and who's calling Islam not a religion but a dangerous political ideology. What do you mean, your vision about this?
Yeah, well, I don't think we should exaggerate it. This is not like one solution for every problem in the world. But I think that the real thing that the people involved with the Hizmet can do, and what they do very well, is they project an image of Islam that is new for many people. People who don't know Muslims personally are afraid of Islam. They think that it's xenophobic. They think that Muslims can't live together with others. They think that Islam is warlike. So when they meet people in the Hizmet, whether it's these young people who are teachers, whether it's housewives, whether it's businessmen who are helping activities, they're seeing people who are committed to peace, who are committed to love, who are committed to tolerance, and these are all things that Gülen is teaching them to do. Whose lives are committed to serving and loving others, and you hear these slanders about Islam that people like Wilders and them are making, then you say, well, this isn't like Rashid, this isn't like Khadija that I know, this isn't like Ahmed. I think they give a very different image to people about what Islam is all about, and maybe that's the most effective way they're providing an answer.
Yes. You have mentioned a little bit, but I want to concrete it a little bit. What's if I ask you what the main differences between the Gülen movement and other radical movements inside Islam? What's the most remarkable difference between those two?
Well, I think it might be in what Fethullah Gülen calls hoşgörü, or we could say tolerance, more than tolerance, isn't it? It's putting the best interpretation on what people say and on what people do, and this is something you don't find most of the movements really talking about, and it creates a kind of person who is oriented towards others, who is predisposed to accept and appreciate others, and that's a very important thing.
A more one last question, a more personal question. You have participated in more events from this movement, but I also think you will have some nice or less nice moments. Is there one you want to?
A less nice moment?
Or nice moment. I mean, something which is stayed behind in your head.
Oh, a lot of things do. I remember once I was at a
most remarkable moment. Let's call it that.
Well, I don't know if it's the most, but it's something I remember. I was in Urfa in southeast Turkey, and they were having a dinner for the people who contribute, for the businessmen. I was sitting next to a man, and so we started talking, and I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I have a plumbing company, so pipes and that kind of thing." And I said, "Really?" And so our conversation went on, and I mentioned that I had just returned from Southeast Asia. And he said, "Have you been to Cambodia?" And I said, "Yes." He says, "I have a school in Cambodia."
A plumber.
Yeah, he has this plumbing company. And I thought, this is really, this is globalization, isn't it? 50 years ago, and without such a movement like this movement of Hizmet, we wouldn't have found somebody who runs a plumbing company in a middle-sized city of southeast Turkey who has an interest in education of non-Muslim children halfway across the world in Cambodia. I think that's quite remarkable.
Thank you very much for the contribution.
You're welcome.
Thanks.